buddies, and welcome back to this masterclass for the beginner in C programming language. And guys, in the previous lesson, we learned about C arrays and we created one, and we were able to add some items in it. And today, guys, we are going to learn again on the same topic, which is just a subtopic, and it's about the size. So, without much ado, let's get started. It's your guy once again, the Wolf. Okay, welcome once again. So we will start off by creating a project name here. So okay, I'll just come here in my card block, and I will select all categories. You can see we have categories here. We have a couple of them here. If you want to do a MATLAB project, you have MC51, 8051. If you are programming a microchip for 8051. Okay, but that's not what we want today. We normally use console applications because we are learning. We are not creating any project right now. And then you click go, and when you click go, this is what we find, and we can say next, and then we select C. And remember, C is actually close to the machine language. It's actually direct to the assembly language than the binary. Okay, let's not go there. So the project name is an array size, just like that. What I was saying is, if you code in C, you have privileges, or when you can code things to do with chips, microchips, and some different chips. It's good to do with C. Okay, then I can click next like this. And the compiler is GNU GCC compiler, and then finish just like that. And we have these automatically created files here. It is here. Okay, so let's get started. So let's get the array size or the rank. Okay, so to do that is so simple. Let me just start here. Okay, so to get the size of an array, you can use the size of operator, but I'll talk about this later. But for now, let's just use this and see what this size operator has got in store. So I'll create an int here because I just want to create an array of integer. Remember, you can have an integer of strings. You can have, you can have an array of numbers and strings. You can maybe fruits, banana, you can have whatever you want. So let's have an array of an int, and I will still call it numbers because I want an array of numbers, just like that. So to create an array, remember yesterday what I taught you, and today is on Tuesday. Yeah, so you put this square bracket. That means that you have created an array. So let me just create some item in it. So I will have maybe 10, 20, 11. Let's okay, you should remember to put a comma here to separate this. Then let's have 19. Let's have the last one, let's say 100, right? Okay, so let's print this out first of all. And today we are going to do something unique here. Let me just remove this hello, and then I put a specifier format. The specifier format of today is really different, and I give you a normal to want to find it what that ZU means. So actually this is I don't know what to tell you, but I will try once I'm done. So we are going to use the operator, which is size of. You can see it's just right here, and it's like a C++. Now it's the same thing. So size of my array here. So this is my array. Let's find out whether we have control copy and so another way. So paste in there. So the size of this, and okay, from here this one will actually print, this will print Let me just comment this. This will print 20. Is that, would that be true? Let's count. We have how many numbers in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, 5. So why would it? Okay, let's run this first of all and see what we have. So I'm running it. It's just taking some time to main dot object. Oh, error of before this print. Expected this, so I should have written this out. Sorry for that. Normally I make that mistake. I don't know why. So run it again. It has actually printed. Let me see what. Okay, so you can see that we have printed out 20. So what's happening here? So the result shows that it's 20 instead of 5. Why? So when an array contains 5 elements, so the array actually contains 5 elements, why are we getting 20? So this is because the size of operator returns the size of a type in bytes. So it's actually returning the size of the bytes that are inside these array numbers. So if you remember, integer has got an int has got okay, an int has a size of 4 bytes. So 4 bytes times how many numbers are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should be 5 times what? Times 4, you get 20. That's how. So this actually gave us the total storage, or the total storage of this array. Yeah. So remember, we learned in the data types chapter that an integer type is usually 4 bytes. So from the example that we have here, we must multiply 4 times 5, and then that's when we get okay, it's just 4 bytes times 5 elements which are in this array. That's why we get 20 bytes. So knowing the memory size of an array is great when you are working with large programs that require good memory management. Remember programs like, for example, let's say Maya, the one that we use to model 3D model, is a very complicated program, and memory management is a key in that software. So maybe coding in C and creating such a kind of software, we are able to manage the memory in a great way. So okay, but when you just want to find how many elements an array has in this C, you're not going to use this size of, but you can use the following formula, which is we just divide the size of the array by the size of the first element in an array. This programming language is actually kind of different from C++ or Python, because it's close to the assembly language, you see. Okay, so to do that, we still have this number here. So what we would do to get the specific item in this array, let me just create an int and just call it length, because we need to return the length of the number of items that are inside there, and then we multiply it by 4, because we say that an integer storage has got 4 bytes, right? And the float also has got different, I think float has got 8 bytes, right? So so I'm going to create a length here variable, and then get the size of. So I'm going to use size of, and this one is going to return the size of this in terms of what. Let me just copy this here. Control copy and remove this. The size of this, and remember this is just going to. Okay, then we divide by. So we get this size of, right? So this will give us the number of what? This will give us the number of bytes that are in there. So that number of bytes divided by the size of, now we will check one by one, which is size of again. size of my numbers. Control copy, and from here do that, control paste. And now from here you just put this array and then put 0 there, so it will start from index 0. Okay, then I put this semicolon here, and now I can come down here, and instead of just printing this, you can go and look for ZU. So this is just specify format, and I get my integer here. So length. So from here, just create the length like that. So this will print 5. So we will get the items that are in there. So let's print this and find out whether we have done the right thing here. So run this. It's building. Boom, you can see we have 5 there. So we have used this kind of formula to get the number of items that are in this. No, using this actually is really awesome, that it can help us to make better loops. So let's see on how we can make better loops using this. So in the array loops section, remember we have used the loops. We used the loop in the previous lesson to get them to display items that were in arrays. So in that lesson, on that chapter, we wrote the size of the array in the loop condition, and we check I is less than 4. So guys, it wasn't ideal. So since it will only work for arrays of specified size, remember when we specified the array size, so that was only to work on that. But what if when we don't know the size of an array? So this, we can use this concept to do a better job in looping. So by using the size of formula from the example that we have done here, we can now make loops that work for arrays of any size, which is more suitable. So instead of just writing like this, remember we did something like this here. Let me just move out this. Should I delete everything? Yeah, because today I'm so no control Z. Let me just remove this. Which one? Let me just continue this, and I remove what I don't need. Okay, let me just remove this line here, and now I should get again an int instead of just doing this. What we did in the previous lesson. So instead of just doing this, this is not efficient. So I just want to show you the correct way of doing it. So for this, we should do this. So for we say that I is equal to 0, we assign the I to start at the position, and then we had a condition that it was I is less than 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are actually 5, so I can just put 5 here, and I can concatenate. I can increment I, so that to continue. Remember, this is what we did. I'm just repeating what I did, so I can just print this. So instead of just doing this efficient way, so let's first print and see what would be the difference. So this specify a new line, and now I can put a comma here and just print my numbers, and I will control copy, control V. So remember to put comma here. So I can start from 0. I can print I. So instead of just doing this kind of loop, let's run this first. And up there is no I cut it off, put it inside here. okay. Oh, I wasn't supposed to have this. I don't know. So yeah, it's okay now. Run that, so you can see it's running, and boom. You see, instead of just doing that, we can now use. It's better to write this way here. So we just get first of all we get the length. So we should have an int, and let's create an int value here, and this is length. First of all, let's get the length. Right there. So length should be equal to. Now take this, control copy. So this should be, the length should have the size of, because we're going to get the length by using the size of, and we get the bytes, right? So we will get the bytes. So remember, every int has got 4 bytes, so we can get all the total bytes and then divide by 10 length, and yeah, so like that, and then paste in. So size of this divided by, now we can divide by the size of, again copy this, control V, and this should be an array now, and it should start from 0. Okay, that's just like that way. And now let me just come down here again. Let me create an int value of I now, again using this 4, so I can, because I don't know the length, because now I know the length, I can use the length here. This is the length, right? Control copy. So I have the length here, and now I can increment that again and again, print this here. So this is the best way of doing this. So we use this formula, just a mathematical small formula that anyone can use. So yeah, so let's run this again and see whether we have the correct answers. There is no problem anyway, it's there, boom. So you can see we have looked all the items in there. So guys, from what we have learned here, we have seen that we can use this is better way of getting looping through the arrays. So let's see a real life example in using arrays. So to demonstrate a practical example of using array, let's create a program that can calculate the average of different edges, right? So I will delete everything here except that it is return. Get there. So okay, let me just create an int value, an int array, and I call it edges, an array, and then I can assign edges in there. So to do that, that's what we do. So let's have 18. Let's have again a 20. Let's have 22. Let's have 34. Let's have 40. Let's say 46. Let's have, let's say 15. Let's have 89 or 86. Let's have the last year, so 70, right? Okay, so we have this array here of edges, and I just want to get the average edge, right? So to do that, let's create a float variable, and then which is the average that we want, average, and also the sum. So this is just small mathematics you can do. So yeah, so let's have again an int here, an int I, and again so this is actually let's get, I can, let me just say getting the length of the array. So to get the length of an array, what would we do? So we will use a for loop. So let's do for this, doing this. So for I have my I here equals to 0, and I condition now is less than the length. Remember how we can get the length here, so we're going to create a length here. Actually okay, I should first of all get the length here before I just do that. So to get the length again, let me just create an int. I call it length. Is equal to size of. So size of edges and then divided by size of. Just copy this, and today I feel like okay, just copy that and paste it here, and again just put a square bracket there and just put a 0 in there. Index 1, index 0, which will be the first position. So let me just look through. So here I have the length. Let me now use a for loop to loop through. So this is just looping through the element to the array. So let me just looping through. So this should be the length. Control copy and then paste it here, and then this should be the length, and then increment it. So every time and increment it just like that, and then so the sum concatenate. This will be just adding the already variable which is been added. So this is the total sum that we will, once we run, we use the loop to loop through all the lengths of this array, we will get the total. So the total is just the sum here. So we will have the total of all these edges, and then we divide by the length of this. So that's how we will do it. And again, now this will be the edges. Where's the edges? Control copy. So the edges, and I should have okay. So now let's do what? Let's before return, let's calculate the average by dividing the sum of the length. So here we are calculating the average by dividing sum by the length. So we will check the average here. We will have our average here, which will be the sum divided by length. The length, right? So yeah. So let's just print the. Let's do what? Let's print the average. So here down here, just printing the average. So print point the float, so put a comma here and then average. Now, wow, this is a quite simple experiment but also intuitively one. So let me just run this, hope there is no error anywhere. I'm just running. Boom. Error expected, or on line 8. Let me just check on line 8. Yeah, always this problem somewhere. Maybe that is the last one. Let me just run it again. Another one here. So finally it's running now. Boom, 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 boom. Here, the average age is 30.88. So that is it for today, guys, and that was really good experiment to do with the really live experiment in using arrays. And actually we can also finally we can create also a problem that finds the lowest age among the different ages. To do that, I think the only thing that I'm going to change here is this. Let me do that. So to do this, let me just see how long is this video. Oh wow, this is a lot of minutes. So thank you so much for today's class, guys. Let's see you in the next lesson.